In this video, I'm going to show you how to improve your textures. I'm going to take a student's piece of work from this to this. It took me about 2 hours. I went through their layers and I just went one by one and I kind of talked about the good things, the bad things, ways to improve, what I would do instead, and just generally why I would do those things. So the kind of thoughts behind it. So yeah, I went through this whole asset and I think it's looking much better than it did before. So this was it before. Yep, give you a good look at that. This is how it looked to begin with. And within an hour and a half, 2 hours, I brought it to this. Now, this isn't the be all end all. This isn't the best it could possibly be. But with the time available to me, I think that this is a big step in the correct direction. So yeah, stay tuned for that. If you manage to get to the end of the video, well done. It's a long one, but there is some good information in here. And if you're looking to become a 3D artist, this is absolutely invaluable information. My name is Jack Rossiter. I have about 6-7 years experience in the games industry. I'm currently a weapon artist working at Dambuster. In the past, I worked at Ubisoft. So yeah, let's get into this. This project is by a student. I wanted to take some time to kind of go over it, take a look, see what I would change, advise, and just see, yeah, generally what kind of information I can help give out. So this is the project. I've not really taken a good look at it yet, so it's gonna take a little bit to kind of go over. We'll explore it together, and yeah, this will be kind of a live kind of workshop. So first things first, we can see that there's 2 texture sets. I'm just going to isolate one of them for now, so that we can kind of work with less lag. Another thing is I find the black background kind of difficult to work. It's okay if you prefer it, but for me, I don't. I'm going to turn this to high as well, just for, actually, I'll leave it on very high, it's fine. Let's see. Studio Tomoko, that's really good. That's the first thing I always check. We've got environment opacity. I don't mind opacity. I usually just put the blur on like max maybe. Or pretty, maybe not close, yeah, something like this. So I'm getting a bit of breakup, but it's not too dark. I can still see. So yeah, that's good for me. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't need that much anti-aliasing. That's always on by default. And yeah, I think that's good. So the reason that I changed the lighting, the reason that I set the lighting up first, just to make sure it's on Tomoko Studio, is because the lighting kind of it's the canvas that you're painting on, and if your canvas is green, your whole painting is gonna have to skew one way. So whether you skew towards it or away from it to compensate, it's not an accurate representation of what the lighting is going to be like. You want to work with a neutral environment, and Studio Tomoko is the #1 environment that everyone uses in the game industry for these sorts of things. At least from my experience, Studio Tomoko is just the go-to for everyone. So I highly recommend first thing you do whenever you start a project is set this to Studio Tomoko. So the student has done a good job. So next up, let's see. So okay. Oh, I really like this detail at the top. I think that's nice. Yeah, okay. So this is kind of a stamping metal. It's like stamped metal here, which is really nice. I like that. One thing I will say though is that it kind of blends away, and it blends away in a way that doesn't really make that much sense. So what you would expect is that this text would have gone all the way across, presumably, and essentially, if you can't see the text anymore, that must have meant that there was a serious amount of grinding on the surface, or, well, yeah, you would have needed to grind away that surface to remove any of that height information, that sort of crevice. And you would see some wear from that. Another thing is that I believe that this is supposed to be a separate piece inside, but it doesn't really read like that because it's kind of mushy. It's just like it's more like a scratch that's rectangular. I don't really believe that detail. Let's see. We've got quite a lot of edge tracing where the wear is uniform and consistent all the way across. Um, I like some of this pitting information. I think it's a bit inconsistent. So it's kind of hard to tell whether it's like part of the material or not because this material here looks like a very pitted kind of metal, but then it's not over here, and it's a completely different color and roughness almost. It looks, I don't know, it doesn't quite read the same as this side to me. This kind of reads kind of plasticky or rubbery. Um, Again, scratches doesn't feel correct. It kind of feels like just applied. I would expect if you were to have a lot of scratches around, you'd have probably some scratches right on the edges. You've got a little bit. Does feel awfully dark. That might just be the lighting. It's hard to tell. Um, why is this? This looks really, really low resolution for some reason. Um, yeah, this looks significantly lower resolution than everything else. I'm not sure why. So I'm just going to hide all the layers. I'm going to put a new layer. And we're going to paint just a color so that I can see where that is. I thought this was baked down, so that's why I painted over those two. So, so I'm working this out in live right now. So, oh, okay. Well, oh, mirroring is on. That's why. Okay, so we got this piece, and this piece. They seem like the correct resolution, so there must be a filter or something. Yeah, because that looks fine when I'm drawing it. Yeah, but something's gone astray with that. Okay, so it looks like it to be some sort of filter. So let's see. Well, actually, yeah, we'll come back to that. So this detail's kind of blurry as well. It looks like we've got quite a high resolution, so it'd be good to make use of that. I think some of this grain is probably a bit noisy. Again, this large face kind of concerns me a little bit because you've kind of got this really like straight edge with like really consistent edge wear, and it just goes forever around, like perfectly, pretty much. Same here, it just goes all the way around. You got perfect edge wear all across here, perfect edge wear all across here. There's no breakup on it. It just goes and goes. Kind of too much edge wear here, probably, definitely. This is really sort of unconvincing edgeware. So again, this sort of where the scratches would be, it would not be here. You wouldn't. There's nothing to catch. There's nothing to catch this kind of lip. So you've kind of got. Let's see. You've got kind of this shape that's going in. And it's inside another shape next to it. So like while it's sliding, you've kind of got another shape that's kind of housing it. And this edge here is not going to be catching this edge and chipping it off. Like they're perfectly machined together. They're going to be sliding. Like this face here isn't touching this face. Like there's nothing like this piece, this whole part here, it doesn't touch this outer face all along here. So it's not going to be chipping off that metal. I'd expect scratches to be inside But I wouldn't expect the scratches to be outside of, it's only the parts that are touching that are going to be scratching. And it's not going to be this uniform and boxy. Yeah, so something to be aware of because it does look very, very like kind of video gamey and CG. I quite like this metal. Yeah, I think that's fine. Uh, I feel like I can see some repeating texture here, some repeating noise, and there's a lack of like breakup either on these sort of highlights. It's like very perfect, which is it's not too bad, but um, it's the same here. We don't have any breakup on this face. It's just like one really large planar face, and it would be it's very cloudy, and I think the purple is just too much. I think the purple's fine to keep, but I would make it like 10% of that power, maybe. You want it to be enough that it like you don't notice it's there, but it's nice. I don't know, just something. Um, it's kind of hard to see this part, but these scratches look kind of okay. Obviously, you're not really going to see it, so I think that's fine. Um, Next up, let's go look at the other part of the gun. Okay, we're now looking at the sort of receiver, low receiver area. Okay, so I really like this grip. I think that's good. I like all this sort of height information. I think the kind of speckling really sells that it's like a polymer, kind of yeah, like a polymer. I think this dust dirt thing is I don't know. It doesn't seem to match this sort of height info. I think this is also maybe too much height info. I'm not sure. Again, these sort of tracing edges where you've got a lot of edge wear or kind of consistent along. But then you've also got like no scratches on these surfaces at all. There's zero scratches on the actual face. So you've got these like big bright highlights. Like I would have thought at some point, like while using the switch, there'd be some scratches here, or just where you've kind of placed it down, or maybe when somebody's tried to remove the screws, it's kind of slipped and they've scratched around. I do that every time. You don't want to ruin the warranty, but you end up scratching it. It's impossible not to do. So you end up with scratches, kind of like this, yeah. But yeah, on these faces here, I would expect something. This part's kind of confusing because it looks like it's one piece. It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's one piece, but they're two separate materials. Yeah, so they're completely different colors. Um, they're different. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they're different colors, so that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. If they're joined, if they are separate, then I would expect to see like kind of a hole where there's like some AO or something. Let's see what else we got. I actually kind of like the edgeware here. That feels a bit more believable, and it's like an area you don't even see that much. This is also nice. I think it's not too much. I do think these grips could probably be broken up a little bit with some kind of like fading, kind of like a thickness effect. Maybe where like certain parts of it have dried out or bleached, or a bit more than other parts. Just because right now it feels very uniform in color, and just a little bit of breakup in depth could help. Um, Again, you got these large faces. I don't know what this clouding kind of thing is as well, and it's not. It kind of looks like a metallic like spray paint or something, or like maybe like Tipex, or it's kind of it like airbrushing almost. But the point is, it's like really cloudy. It's hard to tell what it is. Um, I think these scratches probably have too much height, and you don't want to be getting these like pixels. I don't know if you see that area. Got some kind of faceting on this, not a big deal, but it looks like you kind of baked and then added loops or removed loops or something. And I would expect maybe this area here to be a little bit polished, worn and polished, kind of like where it's been having a lot of kind of use. But yeah, okay, so let's have a look. So I'm going to leave that there as the overall look on just kind of my initial opinion. I'm going to show the upper part as well, and we'll kind of do a quick overview of like how it looks overall before jumping in and there we go. Before jumping in and seeing how we could change this. So immediately I can see these two pieces look so like kind of stylistically different. I do think there's like a little bit of clashing, and this kind of blurry low resolution thing is just yeah, I think that's really sticking out. Again, this scratch is like a good idea, kind of where presumably this slides back and forth, but I don't believe it. It's blurry. It's not as well defined as some of these really crisp details down here. I think these edges here are quite nice. I quite like them. I'd go in and maybe fix up some of these sharp edges though. Just you know, manual paint them or whatever, however you want to do it. I just break them up though. I don't know about these pieces here where it's kind of like it's kind of feathered up and down. And again, you've got lots of scratches on the inner part, kind of where you wouldn't expect it to be making contact with anything in that kind of cavity. Again, I really like this detail actually here. This is, yeah, the metal also reads quite nice as well, because there's this kind of like directionality to it, but it's not too much. I like it. I think it's good. Let's see. Material on this is a bit blobby, a bit cloudy. Yeah, it's kind of this like cloudy noise thing. It's not very well defined. I do like this material. I just think it needs some tweaks, and I think it needs to be consistent with the rest of the metal. These pieces here look quite kind of similar, and then these pieces look similar in the sense of like these both read as metal, and these both read as like a kind of, I don't know, like a polymer kind of rubber kind of thing. I don't know. I'd say this part inside is maybe too oily or too dark. It's kind of hard to tell. It's hard to get it to light properly without it just clipping into darkness. Let's see. Perhaps we can change something with our. Oh yes, we're in aces. I should have checked that at the start, but yes, we're in aces, which is good. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So might put the exposure on at 1.1 or something, or 0.5. Is it going down? Wait, what was it on before I changed it? Can you not undo it? Oh, you can't undo it. I thought it was already on 1, but I changed it to 1, and now the lighting feels different. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, the lighting feels very different. Why does it look different? Oh, is it just on 0? It might have just been on 0. Okay, yeah, it's sorry, I thought it was, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's see. So we'll just do 0.5 or 0.25. It would be helpful to have the momzep file just to see kind of what the final render goal is, but this is fine for now. Generally, I do leave this on 0, to be fair. But yeah, I think like I do see a lot of people use like 0.1 or something just to get, you know, that little bit extra sort of brightness. So next up is, yeah, looking at the base color. So now we can see like this is almost like really highlighted like some of the issues with this. Like this edges are way too consistent, way too continual. And if you think about this gun, like if this was an actual gun, like sort of right in front of us, and we were like moving it around, like which parts are like knocking on stuff, right? Like if we're like moving this around, like which parts are bumping up against stuff? Like it's gonna be it's going to be things on the outside, things that stick out, like this area here, this area here. Let's see from the side, like if you were putting this, um, if you're putting this down on a table, like which parts are going to be rubbing, which parts are not going to be rubbing. We're going to be kind of denting these top parts. Probably this ring, probably this part down here. What we're probably not going to get too many scratches on is like this area around here. Yeah, I don't think you would get that much damage. Probably like around here. So yeah, I maybe the reference shows it. I kind of doubt it, and at least not this consistent. Yeah, this edge, like really consistent edge along here, I just wouldn't expect that. So let's see about fixing up some of this stuff. So I'm going to isolate one of the assets again. And essentially what I'm going to do is just pull back all these textures to kind of build things back up. To kind of do a once over. I think there is quite a lot of layers, just because it was kind of laggy earlier. It has sped up quite a bit, but okay, let's see. So this is the base. So far I was going to say I'm fine, but there's already like an edge wear on it. Let's see. So let's remove all this. So there you go. So color variation. This is cool. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe a little soft, but it's fine. We got color variation. I also love that these layers are named. That really helps, actually, really does. Yeah, okay. It adds like some spottedness. Gotta be careful because it does also add kind of seams, but not a big deal. Okay, and there we go. So this color variation gradient thing. Okay, so let's see this mask. So this is what we got for the mask. So we can kind of see what's happening here. Oh wow, okay, we gotta. Okay, so this looks like it's using UVs maybe. Let's try planar. Just trying to work out why this part is white. I mean, if you just wanted a gradient to go this direction, there's probably I'd just use planar. There you go. So now we don't have that white edge, just switching it to planar. We can layer these things back on top. I'm not sure what this one's for. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is just another one. Probably put that on planar as well. There you go. That fixed up some of those seams that we were getting before. So we can see before, after, before, after. Yeah, I think this is better. Perlin noise, grunge, and a paint. And go back to our color map. So wait. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I don't want this paint layer. Yeah, it's literally just that paint layer that breaks it. So there you go. That looks better to me. We don't have that white edge on there anymore. So now we're kind of going through and we're sanity checking everything. you know, that's what I would do. I'd go layer by layer. It's going to take some time, but yeah, just to figure out um, what each one of these layers is doing. So we got this one that's adding these sort of kind of directional scratches. I think they're a bit muddy, and that might have been. Actually, no, it's not. It also kind of like seems to stop here. I mean, it does add some interesting shapes. I'm not in love with it. So we got this. Okay, we'll leave that for now. That's fine. That's not a big deal. So now we've got our base. It's just a little bit cleaned up now, so we don't have that seam. That will help. These things do add up. Little seams kind of all over the place. They can really add up to just in the end your asset looking a bit funky. I'm actually going to disable these kind of downward lines. They're just I don't know. I'm not vibing with them right now. This noise is like a bit repetitive, but if it's if it's just your bass, should be okay. We can yeah. I mean, you could break it up by layering some stuff, but for now it's fine. Next, we've got white particle sides. So let's see what that does. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what this is doing. So it looks like it's doing something here, but oh, there we go. We've got something here. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to leave this layer off for now. It doesn't seem to be making enough of a difference right now. Darkening text. This is good. I don't know about this kind of breakup here. It doesn't make sense, so I'm just going to quickly adjust that. Oh, I can't because it's all in the paint layer. I would use a projection. Like if this, I don't know. Wait, let me check. Okay, yeah, so it's in the actual ZBrush file. So yeah, that's one thing I would think about maybe is, yeah, you basically need to layer on some scratches to kind of make that make sense. Um, I think this is probably too dark, perhaps. Um, Maybe just lift that up a little bit. Just going through the layers and checking things. Let's see, are we missing ambient occlusion? No, it's just not showing. Might just put a fill at the bottom and put the AO in that. Tab. There you go. What layer did I just add? This is a fill layer, right? No, it's not. Fill layer, excuse me. Ambient occlusion, there you go. Just put that at the base so I can see what's going on. So let's see what this N was doing. I think it was kind of taking away from the AO a little bit. Ooh. That's an interesting mask. Interesting mask. I'm not sure. That might have been. Oh no, actually, I removed my layer. It's not that that's causing it. See what we got here. Might just be on the wrong. Does this need to do anything? Oh, oh, I was probably. Dude, I don't know why we need this layer. I mean, it does add a little bit there, but yeah, it's kind of a weird way looking at the mask. I don't know why it looks like this. Oh, right, I get, because there's a second mask on top now. Okay, yeah, that took me a moment. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird and it's kind of messy. Generally, I use like the folder masks for kind of the larger pieces, I guess. Yeah, this is just kind of random, but it's fine, whatever. Just turn that down a bit so it's still a little bit readable. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to spend all day looking at that piece. Let's see what the receiver front is. Got this is the receiver front. Okay, so this is scratches. So this is cool info. Yeah, I think this is cool. Let's work with this. So we've got left and right. Let's deal with the left side for now. Left side feels like the main character because it's got all this text and stuff. So I'm gonna pull back some of this and then work things up. So we got fill layer 4. We've got some seams already. Um, just be careful of that. So first layer adds this kind of foggy kind of blur effect. See what we got here. Yeah, I mean, leave that off for now. We got color variation 3, copy 1. Let's see what this does. So, okay, so this adds a whole bunch of grunge. I'd be careful with these sorts of edges in your high poly, just like the really, really straight ones. It's kind of hard to tell what this one is doing. It doesn't seem to be doing that much. Also, the way that it's projected is a little messy. I mean, yeah, like for example, we've got this like kind of seam going across, so that will have come from something. So that probably came from our base somewhere. It's not a huge deal, but it's not also not brilliant. It might be this where the kind of the directionality of stuff. Oh no, that's turned off. Oh yeah, Jesus. So I'm just going to adjust this real quick. So let's see. So we've got this one is on UV project. Just switch to and adjust size or something. Yeah, we'll do that for now. And there you go. Again, we've got a linear gradient. If we put this on planar, that should help with that side getting kind of capped off, so it's makes more sense, I guess. I don't think it, though, that we'd actually want this. I think we probably want it to just get applied uniformly. I don't know why it wouldn't be on the end. It yeah, it looks a little strange to me for it not to go all the way. So we'll jump back to this layout. Let's see. So I like to use these channels a lot. Looking at individual channels, it really does help break down everything. So this is that foggy layer that I didn't really like that much. I think it's okay, but I'll remove the paint so that it's a bit more uniform. Like, although I'm getting rid of it. I don't like it. The only thing I would possibly do if I, you did want to keep it is like just drop it to like 10% or something. Just so that it does something, but it's like very, very minor. Yeah, let's do that. We'll leave that there. So just want to check that. Oh, wow, it's doing a lot of things. I'm trying to get it to do only color, nothing else. Just double check what it was doing to the roughness. Yeah, I'm gonna get to do only color. And let's see the next variation layer. Okay, so this is kind of like a very... So this is presumably supposed to be for the part of the gun that gets kind of the hottest. So let's see. So this adds some purple. I think that's fine. I think that adds kind of nice variation. Yeah, I think I'd probably leave it there. Just make it do only the color. Yeah, let's leave it there for now. It'd be cool to get a little bit more color variation in this. Again, check your ref, of course. Go kind of low. When in doubt, use way less than you want to use. I think that's a good rule of thumb. Just kind of when in doubt, just keep it subtle. Okay, cool. These sort of little speckles, I'd probably sharpen them up, perhaps. Actually, this whole mask perhaps could be sharpened up, actually. Just looking at the background where we've got this really fine noise, and then you've kind of got these soft, blobby shapes. It doesn't seem like they're at the same kind of scale of detailing. So let's check that. We've got the text here. We're just going to throw a filter, sharpen. Yeah, we can do a filter sharpen on that. And we can see before, after. That helps a little bit. Maybe I wouldn't go that high. Yeah, I think that does help a little bit. I do think the text is too dark. Got an auto save inbound. There you go, nice. So we can see what's happening here. Oh, okay, yeah. Oof, that looks kind of nice already. Roughness detail. I like the roughness. I like the AO. We're gonna go this, and we'll just color pick something on here. Oh, this is affecting the base color. Let's see. I think I'm just going to remove that. And I'm going to put the blend mode on like a multiply or something, and we're going to pull this Pull this down. Let's see. Sorry, I just got up. So let's see. We've also got kind of inconsistent with this. I think I'm just going to remove this layer. And on the dark text here, add a paint layer below this. Wait, I just realized I'm doing a blur and then a sharpen. I didn't even see the blur there. Actually, to be fair, the blur is a bit blur, sharpen. Yeah, I think that probably does look better actually. And I'm going to add a paint layer after this right here. Let's go to this channel, actually this channel. And I'm just going to quickly paint that in. So you just very quickly paint that in. I would spend longer on this if I was doing it for mine, of course, but yeah, this will be fine for now. Just quickly make it consistent with everything else. Boom, boom, boom. And actually, I'm just going to put it below the blur. Kind of brings it all together a bit more uniformly. Now we've got the same color on both, or we should do. The ambient occlusion is a lot darker though. So what we can do is this is where we could use an anchor point. So I also don't like what's going on here. That'll be because of the blur probably. Oh no, it's from this paint layer. I don't know why there's a paint layer, to be honest. See, we got this, and we got this. Oh, because you're grabbing your ambient occlusion and clipping it out. Okay, that's fine. Multiply. Gotta be careful with this. We've got some seams and some faces that shouldn't be on. I'll just quickly fill those in. No other faces. There is. Oh. Okay. That's fine for now. Okay, I already think that looks kind of better. We can boost the multiply on this all the way. We can put this on a black actually. Let's just go black, and then we'll lower the multiplication to get something we kind of like. Kind of dial that in. I think the depth of this doesn't really feel correct. Let's see our bake map. So we've got our normal. Okay, yes, we can see there's like a significant difference between the height of these. Same up here. Something, yeah, it doesn't 100% feel quite right to me. This kind of feels very flat, like it doesn't have much depth to it, and this feels like it's got a huge amount of depth. So that's why that doesn't quite, read to me correctly. But yeah, okay, moving on. I'm just going to delete this piece, and there you go. So we can also check these. This is like blurred highlights. And we got this piece. Again, I'm just going to quickly change the wireframe opacity way down and set it to like white. And I'm going to go to brush so it just goes away. So we can see we've got some, this is a mask that's not making a huge amount of sense, depending on what it's in. So it is, okay, so it's all limited to this face, or this kind of half here. But still, I think it's a little strange. Also, I don't know why you would want to divide these up like that. into these two halves. You've also got, yeah, we've got noise here that doesn't make sense. So let's, like it's got a seam, I mean to say. So we're going to go with a triplanar. There we go. That seems to fix most of that. I don't really know. I'm just going to leave this layer off because it doesn't seem to be doing that much. I mean, we can check the roughness. It might be doing something there. Really? There's a little bit, but I mean, this is all I'm seeing here. It's like this kind of piece. So we could boost this. Sometimes what I do is I will go to the base color and I'll just set it to like bright red. And now I can see exactly what it's doing. And I can kind of tune this in to be like, are these the details that I want? I don't know if this is what I would want. I kind of broke things with the triplanar, not massively, but just a little bit. I probably just want to rotate it ever so slightly. Yeah, there you go, that looks good. We've got some issues here on that part there. Let's see, I'm gonna get rid of the gradients. I'm gonna check paint. Yeah, I don't know. This is fine, but I think I would not break up the left and right sides. But let's see what the right side looks like. Yeah, oof, okay, yeah. Okay, man, this is a very important layer actually. So let's just make this a white mask for now with a color select, and we're just going to pick that ID. Although there is no ID map, I just remembered. So that's another thing, bake ID maps, they're useful. Looking at your asset, this all looks like one piece. So we can just use a paint layer, and we can use this on object fill. So we're just going to fill that white. No. There you go. So this is going to be, yeah, one piece, that's fine. And now I want to go inside. Let's check this. So we got that blurred thing. We've got this thing that gets applied everywhere. That's good. We got this piece. And yeah, okay, now it's looking good. Although, why is this not applying? Because this. I'm just going to put this as a white mask. Again, this is all one piece of metal. I don't think it really needs to be broken up into separate pieces. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go back to kind of a more neutral kind of color. There you go, let's go something like that. That's fine. This piece is, let's see what that's supposed to do. Really hard to tell, which means it's about to get deleted. So I'm just going to delete that. Let's see what this one does. Okay, so this one adds all these little kind of nicks. Which I like. Let's look at those. Oh, sorry, this one. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. I'd be careful of these kind of this area here, that kind of feathering stuff. It's to do with the projection. This is the problem with triplanar. You can get that. You can generally fix it just by rotating ever so slightly. Place. Let's have a look at our thing. What's our rotation? Let's just go for like 45, 45, 45, 45. And then I just want to yeah, I think that looks kind of good. There's a directionality to it, but I think that's mostly okay. Something more like that. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with that. Just because it kind of removes some of those seams, and that kind of like we've still got a little bit of that stretching. So we could look at rotating this until it looks better. I think the way we had it was pretty good. 45 should really do the trick, because you're kind of projecting then at an angle. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's mostly fine. Mostly. I mean, one thing we could look at is because it's yeah. Let's see what our options are. We could do a. I don't think UV is going to be any good. To be fair, no. Let's just go with our triplanar. That's fine. Oh, another option you can do. Oh, I think it's actually just so see how it's stretching here, even on UV projection. Yeah, so that means that the UVs just have stretch in them. So that was the issue. So that's yeah, likely that's just why they had stretch. So there you go. I like that. Let's go with this. So that adds a little bit of kind of height info. Quite a lot of height info to be fair, but I think that's fine. I still don't know how convinced I am about this darker area here, but I think for now it's okay. Let's see. So next layer, we've got edge wear general. Okay, we found the culprit. We found a bad layer. Bad layer. No, I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah, this isn't a good layer. This is a layer that I would actually probably just straight up delete. If I'm being honest. So what we're looking at right now is a very minimal textured object, right? So not a lot of details going on, right? But it still looks okay. This is this is a good asset in the making. As soon as you turn this layer on, boom, now you've got second year student. Not to say second year students aren't great. They can be very very good. But you know what I mean. This is kind of yeah, this is when you're still figuring out your tools and learning how to use the tools. And you've gone too far with your edgeware, 100% too far. It's too consistent, and as cool as generators are, really what you want to do is just like pull this off. And let's see what we got. So yeah, just pull this off, put a paint layer on. I like to get, so you can use stencils, a really good way to go, really good way to go. I've not got a lot of stuff loaded right now, so I'm just going to use a brush. So I'm just going to go to all libraries, brushes, and search ink. And I think ink dirty is pretty good. So what you do is I like to go into color mode like this. I've got a seam here, so I would look at breaking that up, but it's not a big deal because we are going to add maybe some scratches around here. So you can come in here, I'd go even lower on the brush. Really think about the scale of these kind of scratches. But yeah, like a stencil will really help kind of see like this, yeah, this resolution is too, sorry, not the resolution, the size of the brush is too big still. Go really small on this. Now we've got kind of like a spacing issue, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like something's wrong with the spacing. Oh, why did it go to 5? Go to 1. Oh, there you go, 1. That's better. So now we've got a brush that's like you can kind of build up. And if you press X, it'll flip to black, and then you can kind of like remove away. You want to use like reference for how you're kind of like adding your scratches. But yeah, generally you can get like pretty good scratches just kind of doing it by hand. Yeah, now we've got kind of like a nick, and depending on where you put this, of course, you can tell some story. Kind of add in scratches. What helps as well is to go into free rotation. It's really disorienting at first, but you get used to it after a couple minutes. And then you can get kind of easier angles to paint with. Kind of want to flip between the two brushes and just build these up, kind of build up your scratches. Stencils are much quicker, and actually I'd say stencils are slower, to like set up, but you get kind of better results. I don't use stencils as much as I should. But yeah, you kind of want to, yeah, going through like this is like a really good way to kind of add those kind of details. Again, this piece here doesn't really feel that believable. I'd probably look at going to, where is it? So we've got the receiver here. Actually, I would mask out that piece. For now I'm just going to do a paint layer and mask it out. But it would be better to have what you call a ID map, of course. It'd just be so much quicker. Yeah, because right now, otherwise, if I want to get rid of that, it's like I've got to. I mean, there's a few things we could do. We could get a. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. Get a. I just want a square. Is it called a square? It seems like they're never called what you think they're going to be called. Rounded square. Just does something. Oh wait, can I just? I don't need to add anything for that. I just realized. Planar. I'll go to this, and we'll just position that here. Scale it down all the axes, and we're going to remove make it so it's cropped to shape. And then I can set the color of that to be white, and we'll move our paint layer. And actually, no, I'll set this to black. Sorry. Change the blending. Oh, actually, it doesn't need any blending because there's nothing under it. Put that on normal. There you go. So we'll put that on multiplier. So now I can just go into here and I can kind of scale this to be the correct size. A bit tedious. It's so much easier if you have the ID map. Just place that. Scale this kind of up. That in there. There you go. Something like that. Okay. And then that way we can actually set that aside to be a different material later on. You can always come in with a paint layer and kind of clean this up as well. Just to quickly. clean that up so it like fits around the shape, blah, blah, blah. But seriously though, you just want an ID map. That's the way to go. Or if it was a separate object, which I don't believe that it's, I don't believe that there's any separate geo, but we can have a quick look. No, yeah, so it's just a flat piece. So yeah, these two pieces of metal I think really should be in separate layers, so that you get, because they are separate pieces of metal. So they might be the same material, but yeah, you'd at the very least want a layer to differentiate that metal, so that the tiling materials are different and kind of it's got slightly different properties or whatever. You know, perhaps it's been oiled and polished or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, so dealing with scratches. Let's go back to these scratches. So we got, yes, it was. Looking for it. It wasn't on the left one, was it? It was on the right. No, it was on the left. There, edgeware general. That was it. So yeah, I would have a look at that. If you are going to use generators, I can show you kind of how I would do that. First things first, let's go for a metallic on a kind of bright color, make it more rough for now. I might just put it on red for now. Actually, no, I'm just going to grab a bare metal. So just a really simple like steel. Do I not have? I don't use. I've not used this painter much because I've just been working at work. Let's see. Metal brushed. What does this give me? Gross. Okay. I'm just going to use a simple layer for this. Metallic. Yeah, let's just do that for now. That's fine. Black mask, generator, and now we can start looking. So let's do a. Let's see. Let's do a metal edgeware. This is, this is obviously bad right now. So we're gonna. Oof, yeah, I don't know. I actually don't even know if this is going to be possible to make look good. I mean, you can start off with a like smart material or something, or a smart mask. Let's see. Try this. Ugh, I don't know. It's better, but it's not good. Why do I still see it? There you go. It's also laggy as fuck, so something like this is better. It's inverted though, so we'll just invert that. There's a lot of areas I don't like though, so I think what I would look to do sort of immediately would be to, what does this do? So multiply, adjust the balance. put this on normal for now, just so I can see what this is actually doing. Okay, it's doing that. Right. I don't. I don't particularly like this. I'm just gonna remove that. Let's see what this is doing. Again, I'm not a huge fan. There's like also some sort of duplication stuff going on. Yeah, it's just like the way it's being applied. I think if you were going to do something like this, you'd want to maybe set it to sort of planar and then kind of projecting it just in like one spot and kind of having it crop the shape. Yeah, and then like kind of reducing the depth. Let's see, depth culling. Oh, kind of projecting a little weird. So yeah, okay. So if you wanted like something on the surface, like a very specific detail, you could do something like this and then kind of paint out. But I would be doing that on a separate layer, to be honest, just because now we're getting like that really sharp edge. I actually think what we had is probably okay. This layer here, there's way too many scratches going on, but if we look, it does look a little bit better. But yeah, like maybe you could use this as a jumping off point to kind of get inspiration, and then start kind of coming in here with the paintbrush, and yeah, like really kind of go into town and just removing a lot of this stuff. Because like yeah, I mean this whole section here probably wouldn't have that many scratches. This wouldn't have that much either. Let's see. Maybe this piece would have a lot of pieces. Kind of up some of this, reduce the size of the brush, way lower. Go to our color modes. This is much easier to see while in this mode. I mean, stencils are really your best friend because you can get kind of like perfect detail, kind of without being able to invent the detail, if that makes sense. Yeah, like I kind of added it to the wrong spot as well, even. Yeah, so I don't know about these pieces. So let's just, when in doubt, remove. That's my kind of saying. Something like that, maybe. Feels a bit more um, genuine. You can always do some filters on these as well. So we could do a, let's see, a slope blur. And then kind of increase the tiling, put this on like a min so that we're subtracting away. I'm going to divide this by 10 and let's see what that's doing. Kind of pulling back some of these details. Reduce the tiling. The thing with blurring or any kind of blurring is that you're going to end up with you kind of accentuating your seams. So let's see about just improving our little bit here. Anyway, so like maybe you like add, I don't know. Maybe you prefer kind of adding that little bit of breakup. I think you will get more mileage just adding a kind of stencil, using a stencil. But really, like having good ref as well is like a huge help, of course. Oh, another factor as well, actually, I forget, is what is helpful is to add a generator and a let's see, a ambient occlusion inverting and then putting it on a multiply. And then now we can start to remove. Oh, you're not on multiply, not inverted. Sorry. I'm gonna increase the contrast of that just to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So now if I turn that on and off, there you go. So yeah, we can start pulling back some of that detail. So if it's like around the yeah, so we can kind of like remove these areas where you wouldn't really be getting scratches. So like on some of these inner parts. Yeah, for example here, like we've got scratches in here, that makes no sense. So just having that little ambient occlusion. Yeah, something like this. I don't know why this is so brightly lit, actually. It does look a little strange. Oh, ambient occlusion. Okay, yeah, so the ambient occlusion has some small issues. That's likely to do with the way it was baked. It looks like it was baked with, yeah, individual pieces, which I understand for the animation, but I think it's good to bake both versions and then kind of paint between them using this setup where you have ambient occlusion set to multiply, and then putting your AOs at the bottom, and then you can kind of paint in between. Generally, I like the one where they're next to each other, and then I just paint with white where I want to remove it. Just kind of erase it if there's areas that don't make sense once it's animated. So let's go back to our layer. They need a button that just like jumps you to like the last selected layer. Edge wedge general, that was it. I think, no, it wasn't this one. So let's dial this in. And then we'll just put this on a multiply. That should do the trick. So I removed some of it. It's always going to only work with what it's got though. So if there's no AO baked in this area, it's not going to work that well. So yeah, you can always just remove these scratches on the in part that don't make that much sense. Yeah. And yeah, just remove the parts that you don't like. I'd say there probably wouldn't be that much around here. There's probably going to be quite a lot down that area. Not a lot inner part around here. Again, not a lot around here. Wouldn't have anything inside here. Not that much around here. Definitely wouldn't have anything there. So I'm just like kind of pulling this way back. So now we've got a couple scratches. I don't like any of this, so I'm just going to remove that. I actually don't mind some of this stuff, so I might just keep a little bit of it. I need to spend longer doing that. That way. Should have done it right first try. Let's just brush small. Oh, I'm painting on the wrong layer. Yeah, just break that up a little bit. There you go. a little bit. Probably don't want it that much on this inner part, more just want it on that top part. Just those bits. There you go. Spend longer on it, obviously, if this is your own work. Don't like a lot of this, don't like these parts here. So yeah, you want to be really minimal with your scratches. Don't know why we've got a whole face scratched. What did I do? Oh, yeah. So something like this feels a bit more natural to me, with the kind of very small amount of scratches. We don't need a lot. It'd be nice to have some scratches here. So one thing we could look at doing is making a new layer, putting a black mask on it, putting a fill. Oh, that's the wrong one. Putting a fill, and then looking at what sort of textures we've got. I probably don't have that many good ones. Let's see. I'm going to go for this one. And I'm going to go with a, let's see, high contrast. Maybe not this one. Yeah, I kind of need better textures. I haven't got a lot on this version of Simpson Painter. So what you could do is you could jump on textures.com or a similar website and look at getting some better materials, like better texture maps. They'll usually the grunges are pretty good, but you can definitely get much better grunges, and really having good textures will help a huge amount. Let's see. I'm determined to find something in here. Right, this one. Ugh. Let's do. Um, um, Maybe we could do like just some micro scratches or something. Not a huge fan of these. They are really subtle, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna see. Okay, so I did some research. I did a quick Google to see the pistol, to see kind of what the materials were like. Realistically, I should have done this at the start, but it's not a big deal. So looking at this, there's a lot of really good information here. So I went through Google, I just searched Trace Pistol, and went through. There's a lot of really, really nice information here. I put it on large images as well. So Reddit, somebody's posted this beautifully high resolution image. This would be sort of my art Bible for this piece. So I really, really like some of these details. I really like the dented kind of like screws. I like these really thick scratches. These would be kind of tricky to do just in Painter alone because there's a lot of height information there. But yeah, it's doable. And I really like the kind of the coloring. There's this kind of like rust kind of happening on these like edges and stuff, but less so on these like middle parts. And we've also got this kind of like two-tonal kind of where you've got this surface here, and then you've got these area where it's really worn down and it's kind of showing this like bare metal underneath. You've also got these really dented corners. But yeah, I'm looking at this image and I'm trying to take reference. Do you remember earlier when I mentioned scratches around this screw? You know, here they are. You can see them. You've got this kind of break here between this kind of like almost anodized, kind of grimy, oxidized, rusty kind of area, and then you've got this edge where it's kind of going away. There's an aspect of edge tracing to this, but it's only on this part, like this grip, or at least I think it is. So yeah, it looks like it. There's a little bit of kind of there's a little bit of some stuff in places, but like not that much really. Yeah, I really like this kind of like the overall temperatures of the colors and how sharp this image is. I would probably have converted this into a alpha to get this text. And again, these metals are like separate pieces. This reads a little bit better to me because there's this like really sharp line. I probably would have just done that like as potentially, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely would have baked it in. You know, like the high poly having those two separate pieces, or even keeping the low poly having those two separate pieces. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell because that edge is so crisp and sharp. It's kind of tricky to do. It might be fine. Let's see what else we can find. So let's see if I go to the post. I hate this version of Reddit. There you go. So we've also got this image as well. Let's just open the image in a new tab. Oh, that didn't help. These two metals look very differentiated. I think they probably are the same metal, but the coloring is so different that it just reads nice. These three pieces of metal are very different, and you've kind of got this brushing that's not there on the middle. This is more of a kind of brassy kind of color. We haven't got a huge amount of scratches, but there's a lot of wear. See what else? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and it kind of goes this yellowy color at the end here, and on this rod, which is actually linked to when metals get to a certain temperature, they turn a certain color. So there's this spectrum of color, this gradient of color that is directly correlating to the type of heat that that metal or like that gun is producing. And it starts off with this like kind of yellowy hay, and then it goes up to a blue, I believe. Or it might be the other way around. It might be blue and then goes to hay. I can't remember, but you can see it where you can see it on heat, metal, temperature, gradient. Let's see. I forgot the exact word for it. I'm gonna search straw because they always use the word straw when talking about it. There you go, tempering, metallurgy. There you go. So you've got all these different colors here. So depending on how hot you get, there you go, higher you get, the closer you get to blue. So this must be hitting about 204 degrees because it's kind of getting this color. Maybe this one, but we're not really getting that blue. So we could go into here. Let's hide our crappy scratches. Let's go to our layer where we've got I think it was on the base perhaps. The gradient on that and just have it on everything. And let's see. Again, I'll probably remove that gradient so we're more consistent across everything. We still got that highlight coming over here from something. Oh, there you go. That's from this. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know about this piece. Like these gradients. Not sure about that. It's fine. We'll keep it for now. That's fine. But on top of this, we can look at doing a black mask with a gradient. I generally have a heat, like smart material kind of thing. You can use a gradient though. So use a, well, yeah, let's do, I'm trying to remember how to do it off the top of my head. We could also just get an image of a sort of metal temper, and we'll do this on large, and we can find a good image. So we can already see there's like somebody shared a smart material here for a tempering. It's probably available to download somewhere, I would have thought. Maybe not. But generally what I'm looking for is a photo. This is a good one. We could use this one. Yeah, let's do this. We just need this kind of yellow area. Actually, I don't want that one. The reason I don't want this one is because it's got a lot of scratches and brushing in it. I want something much smoother. Something more like this. So let's go heat pipe, maybe. Metal pipe temper. Tempered metal. Let's see. There, a few more. I mean, this'll do actually. If we can get the full resolution. Where's it gone? How did I end up in this page and the image that I'm looking for is not here? Okay. I can just do a few more. I mean, you can also just like manually make this. I was hoping that I would find a better image. I think this is probably the best one. So I'm just going to, I just wish it was in a high resolution. Do a search image with what? Ugh. Why change things that work? This one's kind of cool. I think this one is the best one. Yeah, that seems to be the best quality. So we can just grab this image. I'm just going to save it actually. There you go. So we're going to bring in that image as a texture, and I'm going to bring it into this project. Import. And then what we can do is delete that layer that we had before, and I can just drag and drop this onto here. I'm going to put this on base color, and I'm going to rotate this around and scale it up. And I'm going to put it on world space. So now we can look at kind of making this fit. So if we go to our reference again, you can see that it's kind of subtle, and it's this kind of big, it's just a very yellowing kind of edge. It looks. We can also be artistic with this and stylize it a bit if we want. So I'm just going to scale this up and then bring this kind of over here, maybe scale up some more, something like this, and increase the depth. So it goes all the way through. And then what we can do is find that layer which has gone right to the top, which is a feature of Painter that I hate. It'd be cool if it just put it kind of where you were working already, like above the layer that you have selected. So we'll put that on there. Really, we want it to be on both the slide as well, but for now, we'll just do this. Actually, you know what? I'll put it outside the... On, up you go. I'm going to put it above here. Yeah, I'll just for now. Yeah, actually, no, I'm going to put it right at the top where it was originally. Just because I can't be bothered to reorganize all the layers. So I'm going to put this on a tint. No, I'm not. I'm going to put this on normal. Bring this way down. Let's just see what we're dealing with. So we got color. Bring this down to like 5 maybe. Let's go to our base color layer so we can see what's going on. Something like this kind of looks like the ref, where it's not a huge amount, but yeah, it's a little bit, and it's there. I think this is probably still too much color. Now we can see how that looks. Yeah, something like that. That works. So now we're kind of getting gradients are really good for helping asset readability. Just makes things look better. But yeah, you want to be subtle with these things. And I probably could have put this on the base, maybe. Perhaps. This is fine though. This is fine. Let's leave that. You always want to be thinking about how you're organizing your file and trying to like organize it in the best way that you can. This is a strange layer. This is our funky scratches. Wait, what is this one? Go away. This is our good scratch one, I think. I say good. Way better if you spend longer on it, for sure. I think we're kind of missing some height on this text as well, which I think is to do with the high poly. Let's see the text. So essentially what's happening is I'm going back and forth quite a lot, kind of doing a sanity check over everything while occasionally checking with my reference to see how things are looking. Let's look at turning all these layers back on. So yeah, let's look at turning all these layers back on, so we kind of build things back up. Because I do want to show a completed version of this, so we need to get a move on. So so we've got the side here. So this is going to add some things. So this adds, so we got left and right separated again. I think this adds some nice info, but I don't like the purple. Again, sort of when in doubt, just pull it back. So I'm just going to put this on like 5. Put this on 5. So it's technically still there. You know, it is doing something. It's just not doing as much as it was doing before. Something like that. Yeah, that adds just a little bit, maybe even a little bit lower. And we can check our roughness to see how that's coming along as well. So essentially, one thing to note as well is that as I've been going through this, I've been focusing on the base color pretty much primarily. I've barely looked at the roughness, and the roughness is equally important. But what I like to do is I like to dial in the base color and then go through the roughness. And yeah, it's kind of a back and forth in that regard, but I do the base color first and then I do the roughness. So let's see our base color again. So we got micro details. I think again, this is pretty good. Kind of like the grub. I think it's maybe in the wrong place. that coming from this? No, it's coming from... Yeah, it's kind of coming from this. It feels a little bit inverted, like... Let's check the ref again. So yeah, you kind of got to highlight over this side. You do have brightening over here, and then it's kind of dark, and where it's had the wear is where it's brighter. So we got darkening top. That should really be sort of lightening, I guess. Again, we've got seams in this. You know, these things do add up eventually. You know, we can see even here, like looking at this, like it doesn't feel like just one piece. But yeah, let's check this. So I don't like this piece. It doesn't make it feel like metal to me. I think that's to do with the roughness mostly. I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do is keep this, but I'm actually going to go lighter on this. And then I'm going to kind of break... Oh my god, this mask. I don't know why it's... Yeah, you gotta be careful of this. So I'm gonna add... I'm just gonna add my own paint layer. And we're gonna grab a brush real quick. And let's see. Looking for... I think sandpaper's usually pretty good. There's like a sandpaper one somewhere. This maybe... I don't like this one. The random position is way too much on this. Yeah, let's go for this for now. Pull that way back. Yeah, I mean, it'd almost be easier just to add a paint layer on top of this. Add a fill on black, and it would almost be easier just to paint white. Yeah. Perfect. See how that's looking on our base color. So we can kind of add a little bit of highlight, just like the ref. That's kind of how it was. It's not painting on this piece here. This is another thing, is you've got masks for faces when you don't need to, which is creating like, these look like two separate pieces. So let's have a look. So yeah, we've got this left thing again. I'm just going to put a white mask on that. And yeah, a white mask. Let's do a paint, and I'm just going to fill this object. There you go. So now we can see that it looks like one piece again. So if I turn that off, there. So now it's actually one asset again. And we get much better blending. So see this, like, see we have like these two faces. It doesn't look like the same piece of metal. Now it kind of brings it together a bit more. I think it looks better personally. We got darkening. This is actually the lightening. I've added a seam here, it looks like. That my paint layer. So yeah, you got to be careful with how you're painting. Oh, I'm painting side. So you got to be careful, but yeah, easy enough to just come in and fix that up. Actually, I want to kind of keep that sharpness. So let's leave that for now. I think that helps a little bit. Does add a little bit of highlight. I think we can accentuate it a bit more, make it less rough. And then we can actually filter this more. We could probably add a filter sharpen. You have to be careful with these things, but make this up a bit more. Probably want less spacing. Oh wait, no, I'm doing it the wrong way. And I also want rate of flow. I don't know if this is still the right brush to be using actually. So something like that. I'm going to go a bit brighter on this. And I'm going to pull the sharpening down. And I'm also going to remove whatever that was. There you go. So I think that works a little bit better, kind of having that brightening around the edge. I'd probably add I'd probably layer it a bit more, spend a little bit more time on it, of course. But yeah, really the important thing is to be checking your reference. This is, it could of course be better. I've got this kind of seam here. I'm just going to quickly fix because it's bothering me. Oof, this is not the right brush. I'm actually going to add a second paint layer on top of this just so I can mix between the two. And I want something a bit softer. There we go. Something like this is probably okay for now. Let's just do something like that. Something a little bit like this. Careful, or being conscious to move the camera around occasionally just to make sure that we're not creating those kind of camera stretching. There you go. I like that. Yeah, that's fine for now. I would probably fix up some of this, use a different brush because this one's not quite right. But yeah, for now it's fine. I wanna be able to actually finish this piece. So let's see what this is doing to our base color. I don't like this because it feels like it's removing detail. And it's kind of flattening out a lot of that layer, like a lot of that detail that we've built up, it's kind of flattening it out. So we could look to see about improving this without just straight up removing. So we could bring the opacity down and kind of, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of a cool effect. Happy little accident right there. Something like that. It's kind of cool. And I don't like the roughness actually. I think the roughness is really kind of messing things up actually. But I think this does actually kind of help. Probably go down a bit though. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know about this layer to be honest. Let's see. So you can scroll through these to quickly get a feel for like what each layer is doing. You can also see where the mask is. It's kind of all over. I'm just going to leave it off because yeah, I'm struggling to get something that I feel like is adding, and that's a key takeaway is that you want to make sure that layer that you're each layer that exists adds in some way and it makes it better because quite often your layers actually are making things worse. Um, like it always happens. Like every time I make something, I'm just stacking layers. I'm trying things. I'm like throwing paint on, and once I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, okay, I've added everything I could add, and I'm not happy with the result. That's when I hide everything and I go layer by layer and I work out like what needs to go, what's not adding, what's making things worse, and like really tuning and dialing things in. So let's see. We got white stains. This is cool. Maybe a little blurry. Let's do a quickly filter sharpen on that. Yeah, I think that actually does kind of help. But we do need to dial in these kind of. Oh, it's also. Let's see. So it's not fully matching. Ooh, what the hell? Okay, let's go. Let's again pull everything back. Let's have a look. So we got this. This is kind of like a weird tiling thing. Let's see what the plan is. Gradient again. This is like a classic gradient. It's breaking everything again. I don't think you even want the gradient, to be honest. Let's do this, this. This is adding seams, so we'll go to triplanar. And then we got paint layer, so that's kind of removing it in some places. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. It does give it a bit of breakup. Let's leave that for now. Um, what am I guessing? Oh, this, yeah. So this, there you go. Let's do this. Go to our base color, sharpen. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's a lot though. The only thing is it's a lot. It's adding quite a lot, and it's also layering on top of some text. I'd probably put the text above everything else to prevent that. But I do kind of like this. So what I'll probably do is um, look at kind of bringing that down, and then maybe the roughness. Let's go like less rough. And I think I'd also look at doing a fill on top with a 3D purlin. Let's go for this one. I'm gonna go for more contrast. I would like higher roughness, something like this maybe, and then I'm going to put this on a multiply so that we're subtracting away, and then I can look at adjusting the position to kind of adjust this. I also want to adjust the scale. Let's go something like this, and this with a different scale, something like that, just to really pull that back. So now the mask is way less than it was before, way less. And then we can pull this back back up. And I think I'll put the sharpen on top again. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Give it a little bit of breakup. I think we could do with so you gotta be careful with height, really careful with height. But I think in this case we maybe can get away with it. Maybe not. No, you can't get away with it. You got to be so careful with height. Let's see. I want to dial this in a bit more. Oh wait, this is on. Oh, sorry, I'm adjusting. I'm not fully sold on all of the detail, but I definitely think it was better than it was before. So we're going to go forward, and you can always come back to these things later on. And then we got micro details, which, yeah, I kind of like these actually. I think they're fine. I think they work quite nice. So that's the receiver complete. Let's just turn everything else on for now and see how it's looking. I already think this is looking much, much, much more interesting, personally. See what we got here. The slide again, I would manage the where on the slide. First thing I would do is like just open the slide, and let's see. There you go. So this layer right here, I'm not a huge fan of, so I'm just going to remove that. This one, let's have a look. Oof, gonna have to be careful with this one, depending on what it's doing. Yeah, I mean, is there anything we can do about this? Less contrast, maybe less wear. See what that's doing now. We could go. We could go like really high maybe, and then put the like opacity like to 0. Yeah, I mean something like that's okay. Just adds a little bit break up on the kind of shapes. I think that's fine. Let's look at the. We've got some scratches somewhere that I want to check out. Ooh, what was this? Oh, this is the one that I just did. So it was in one of these layers. Not that one. Not this one. It's in this one. So we got, there you go. Okay, so we got a stencil in here. So that's cool. Good to see stencils. Let's see. So we got, this is our stencil. Okay, so it's coming in as a paint. I'm going to do a fill and just, I think the stencil is in the project. So we got, let's see, I believe it's this one. So I'm going to do that. What have I done? Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I need to put this on planar, and then I can move this into position. I'm going to put this on a lower opacity so I can see where the original was. So immediately I can tell like this is not a very good stencil. Just right off the bat, this is not a good stencil. The image size is huge, and the resolution is terrible. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fix that stencil. But we can look at trying to improve it in here. So we got a sharpen on here. It's not doing that much. It's a little low. I'd probably go all the way up actually. Maybe put a fill on it with a anisotropic. We can do increase the amount. We can put this on a oof. I don't like this anisotropic. I feel like there's a better one. Let's see. Let's do planar. Yeah, we'll just scale this down. Put it in here somewhere. Yeah, there you go. That's fine. And then we'll just multiply that. We can look at that. Maybe increase the contrast of it and the balance and the scale. Put that underneath the sharpen. Put one on top as well. Move this a little bit. And scale it up a bit. And we'll change the balance. Something like that, just to kind of try and give it a bit more resolution. You know, we can see kind of before looks very blurry, and we got this on top. I think that does help a little bit. It's not ideal. It's really not ideal. Generally, you just want to have a better stencil, but yeah, this helps a little bit. And then you can of course come in with your brush and manually adjust things. You know what I'm gonna do? Quick little tweak. Yeah. Copy paste, increase contrast, and I'm going to reduce the tiling way down. Want this on the max, and I want less contrast, a bit more. Something like that. There you go. Let's pull that way back. There you go. That to me is already looking a little bit better. We're just kind of hinting at what's going on, but not going too overboard. Yeah, that stencil was just far too blurry, far too blurry. Like, look, this is what we have now, and that's what we had before. It just doesn't read correctly for that scale. Like, we can see all these little nicks and scratches, and then you've just got this really soft kind of blobby shape, and the eye gets drawn to it really quickly. So this is where we're at right now, and let's see. So we got, let's say the slide is complete. The only thing I'm worried about is this piece right now, which is in fact part of the slide. It's not this piece, it's not this piece. There we go, it's this one. So I'm going to jump into base color, of course, my favorite place to be. And yeah, let's set a color to this just so I can see. And so we got this piece and this piece. This one is fine. I'm happy with this, I think. Yeah, it'd be cool to see like more variation on these scratches, but for now it's fine. I'm more worried about this kind of. Oh, so this is from your stencil. Okay, so this is so essentially what we're getting is the same issue that we just had. We're kind of, yeah, this is another instance of that issue. So we can see it's part of the details, and here we go. So I think what I'm gonna do is, let's see. Curious where's that layer that I just did? Because I probably could have just copied over some of that stuff. I am quite tempted to just, let's see. So it's the problem with doing things live. Yeah, let's just do it again. Oh man, I wish there was a search bar so much on here. Let's see, where did that come from? Okay, so it was this part. Stencil. So what I can do is I can just come into the stencil, I can copy all of these, and then we can come into the new one, and there you go, this layer, we're just going to paste, paste that in. There we go. So same thing that we did before, that's just kind of coming out of there. We've got some issues. There's a bit of noise from the sharpening. It's probably because there's two sharpenings on here. There you go. That already looks better than before. Could it look better? Yes. Let's adjust things, bring that over here. To paste this, and Is that working? Oh, you have to put your mouse here, maybe? There you go. There you go. Let's go something like that, maybe. Um, yeah. The only other thing that's left is to deal with, yeah, probably, I think it was that layer just then. Yeah, this one here. So I'm just going to probably quickly just, this is kind of not how I would normally do it. Just quickly break some of that up. There you go. Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, this is where we're at. I believe that's pretty much everything. We've got the bar and the barrel, but I'm not going to worry about those too much. But yeah, I definitely think that it's better than it was before. We can also mask out some of this if we don't want it affecting the colors, but actually right now I'm quite okay with it. And we can show the lower part of the gun. So essentially what I would do next is I would look at the roughness. I would start going through the roughness channel. So first thing we can do is look at this and kind of see what we're dealing with. We could do a pass-through filter on the levels. So we'll do levels, roughness, put this on pass-through. Give it a moment to load. There we go. Okay, so we can see what's going on now. So what we can do is look at kind of an angle, maybe a beauty shot. I don't really want to look at the bottom because I've not adjusted textures on the bottom at all. So let's just look at the top part and kind of deal with the lighting of this. So something like this. I like to kind of get like a beauty kind of angle, and then we can kind of look at what we want to do for our kind of values. Maybe we want to bring these in. Maybe that's not enough gloss. Let's see. We can also be checking it in our roughness mode. So I'm just going to reset this. Let's see. So doing some tweaks to the roughness, try and get some interesting highlights. Getting a bit more contrast on that. Far too much on this inner part, of course. It's one thing you've got to be careful of. Oh, there you go. So this is something that we would actually have to address. So this will be an issue coming from somewhere. So it's coming from the slide. So let's have a look where that's coming from. There, your top part. So we got base. There you go. So we'll remove that. Yeah, I don't like this where you've got a mask of just one kind of face and then you've got a whole fresh material. It's got really sharp edges to it. You should just have one base material for that piece, for the whole piece of metal. So I'm just gonna hide that base. And yeah, that's fine. There you go. So we got a bit more roughness. And then I would look at the roughness channel, and I think that we could get more breakup on this. With these sort of, we could get more highlights and stuff like that. And there's some interesting stuff you can find, kind of just looking at the reference. So let's see. So let's have a look for some information. So we've got this piece is cool. We got some info that we could kind of grab. See what else we got. Okay, this is pretty uniform, but it's kind of nice. There's some good detail. Trying to think what else we can do to this to kind of give it more life. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. It just takes time, and I'm well aware that this is a long video, but I do think this is going to be useful to some people. Somehow the edgeware came back from something. I think I thought I removed it. So this is the slide. This one, no, this one, nope. Edgeware. Um, yeah, I'm just going to remove that edgeware. I think actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep the edgeware. Maybe this piece. This piece is nice. And then we got this one, and this one sucks. Not in a mean way, just in a. But let's do the thing where we bring it up, edge smoothness, bring that down. It's too sharp, I suppose. Grunge amount down, bring this up. Yeah, let's do this. This is going to look terrible, but what we can do is just, well, one thing we can do is add a slope blur grayscale. So I'm going to do a filter, slope blur grayscale. I'm going to do a blur on the tiling. Or maybe a warp actually would be better. Let's do a warp. Yeah, that's better. Less tiling. Bit of blur. Intensity maybe. Just try and dial it in. Yeah, let's go something like this. You got to be careful because you don't want to be warping too many of the shapes. Let's do. I don't know about this piece right here. Sometimes things line up and work, sometimes they don't. This might be one of those where it doesn't. But either way, my plan was to put it on a really low opacity. So we can just, well, we can put a fill and then change the brightness of that. And then that'll adjust the roughness at the same time. So we'll just, yeah, I mean, where are we getting? So we're still getting, oh, yeah, we're getting a really bright edged highlight there. So I wonder why we're getting that. Potentially what it's from is from, yeah, so it's not fully masked off. So we're going to add a paint there. And what did I just do? Add a paint with a UV fill and just grab that and that. I mean, we should just be able to grab this whole block actually. There you go. Still, we've got a issue here. It's actually not coming from this layer, it's coming from a different layer. So this one has issue. So let's see what's going on here. I don't know, but what's going on with this piece? Like with this folder. I'm just going to remove that, I think. Okay, we need to keep it for that area there, but we want to remove it here. So let's just add a paint and just remove everything over here. Yeah, that'll do for now. So there you go. I think this is looking better. I do think this is looking much better than it was before. So here's a quick little update. I added some wear to where that text is supposed to be here in the middle. Just some quick scratches. So this was the before. We can see that text is supposed to be kind of missing in that middle. But this is a stamped piece of text. So if that was gone, somebody would have had to take a Dremel or an angle grinder or something to really wear away that metal to kind of hide that text so that it's no longer visible. So I just added some scratches, and I think that does the trick for now. I would improve this myself personally. I would probably actually go in and add in the stencil where it is kind of missing, kind of really bring it down, so it's much more faded, but there's still that kind of ghost of it there maybe. I'd improve the masking, but yeah, just to quickly show you how I did this. I've got a layer here just with some scratches, just use the paintbrush. I just use the paintbrush and whatever this is. I found it in the, this is totally default shelf. Let's see. It'll say right here, Cal brush preset alpha 29 with a sharpen on top and then a levels to dial that in. Exact same thing above this, just to kind of layer on some more on top, different levels of intensity. And then another one on top, which is using an actual image alpha. So this was a image that I found on Google. I just found this image right here, and I just brought it in, threw it on top. I can show you actually. So if I put this on fill, so we can see that's what it looks like when I just this is what it looked like when I brought it in. It's just on the base color, and then I have a anchor point on top of this, and a hue, saturation, lightness just to adjust the brightness a little bit. And then on the mask itself, I grab the anchor point, the base color, of course, and I use that to drive my mask so it looks like this. I use the levels to kind of dial it in, and then a paint layer to kind of filter out where I want things to go. And that's it pretty much. Yeah, that's it. So all in all, it does this, and it adds a little bit of height as I showed you before. I would spend much more time on this, of course, if this was my piece. But yeah, just kind of adding that kind of storytelling aspect, it kind of, it at the very least helps explain why we can't read that text anymore. But yeah. Additionally, one little thing I changed was I went into the receiver front and the white particles layer. I checked that and I realized it was off. I went in. Initially, it looked a little bit different. It looked like, let's see, I believe it looked something like this. It kind of added some like blurriness in places. So I went in and actually used something else. So I used some anisotropic noise. You can see that here. So I just leveled this in. I can show you the mask. It's got an angle mask on it. It's just planar. It pushes right through. I haven't done the other side, but you just duplicate it, flip it around, and put it on lighten. And then you do a 3D pillin noise just to break it up, a sharpen, and a levels. And that just gives it this kind of detail that I felt like it was missing, this kind of like directionality, this brushing. One issue though is that it's going through the text. That's a really easy fix. We can just take our darkening text and we can put that above the left. and there you go, boom. Now we see that's gone through, and I think that really helps sell the point. So yeah, I think this is the final result. I'm really happy with this. I think it's definitely a huge step forward in the right direction, and I would just just keep going, just keep following these principles, keep going, especially break apart this kind of piece in here. It's kind of hard to see, especially this part here. This needs to be a separate material, and yeah, just kind of putting some oil in some cavities, breaking up the roughness, kind of just keep going really. So yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful. So to conclude this video, I just wanted to show a quick before and after and talk about the differences and why they're important. So this was the before. This is how the asset was sent to me. This is how the materials looked. If we look at the base color, this is kind of what we've got. But yeah, essentially this, especially this back edge, these edges here, this is, yeah, we've drastically improved that over the course. So this is where it's at now. We can see these materials are much more convincing. We don't have that edge wear everywhere that's just kind of feels very kind of CG. We've got nice sort of a level of noise, I think, that kind of sells that this is a kind of raw aged metal. We've got this kind of brushing directionality. So this is how this part is looking. If we rotate around, we can see this kind of material. It kind of looks like a rubber or a polymer. It doesn't quite have the correct kind of material properties. We've also kind of, someone's like Bic pen has kind of leaked on it, it's a cool idea, but I don't feel convinced by it, and it feels a little distracting. I'm going to quickly hide the other piece because we're not really focusing on that area. And I really like this part of the asset. I think this is really interesting kind of texture. And I've kind of carried that through to everything. And yeah, so this is where we're at. So for transparency, this is the same studio lighting, the same camera. Everything is the exact same setup. The only thing that's different is the textures. Lighting, everything is the exact same. We've got a small issue here because I need to project the texture from the other side, but I just didn't get around to doing it. So yeah, going back to the other one, yeah, this is what it looks like. So yeah, one of the big issues is the edge wear. Edge wear is, it will make or break your work. It's the first thing your eyes are drawn to, and it can really kind of let the viewer know whether this is a real item in the world or whether this is a CG asset. And you got to be really conservative with your edge wear. So predominantly I just pulled all the edge wear away, so we can see it's much more minimal. There's not really a lot of dents or scratches going on anywhere. There's some stuff this side that's kind of messy. I didn't really do that much on this side, but yeah, like really you want to go in by hand and you want to really be kind of deliberate with where you're putting your scratches and edge wear. But yeah, so just to finally wrap this up, this is how the asset's looking. This is kind of the back view, and this is how the original looked. So yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting. Please let me know if you did. These videos take a really long time to make. This was probably about 3-4 hours of recording, and then another additional hour and a half for editing. So yeah, if this is interesting, please let me know. I don't make any money from this, so yeah, just knowing that some people find it useful will help spur me to continue to make these videos. Best of luck with any models you're creating, and have a wonderful evening.